I told y'all that I was going to bring you this leading story about the man who killed 8 of his own children. He actually shot 10 people, but 8 children have passed away. And everyone is talking about this story because it's 8 children. It's 10 people. Now, the mental issues that this man was going through, trust and believe, were severe. They had to be, because you took out 8 of your kids. You shot 10 people, which means you tried to take out 10 people, but you were only able to take out 8 of your own children, your own offspring, your own flesh and blood. Not everyone can do that. So, of course, he was fighting some mental issues, which they say he was. It's coming out now that he was fighting them. And his name is Shamar Elkins. Shamar Elkins, who lived in Shreveport, Louisiana, with his family. Now, what made him snap, I don't know. But the news is about to draw down on the timeline as to exactly when everything happened and what exactly happened. And maybe we will get answers as to why this man actually snapped.
About 5:55 a.m. on Sunday morning, Shreveport police received the first call regarding a disturbance at a resident in the 300 block of West 79th Street. The caller stated that they were on top of a house. The suspect was inside and that a male had been shot. 3 minutes later at 5:58, dispatch received an additional call indicating the suspect was a relative of the caller. A minute later, 5:59 a.m., dispatch was advised that approximately 9 individuals resided at the location. The caller further stated that the suspect, identified as Shamar Elkins, had shot everyone inside the home. At 6:00 a.m., 1 minute later, the caller advised that she and her children had fled from the roof and were now in the backyard. 6:01 a.m., officers arrived on the scene. 6:03, officers made contact with the caller at the residence. At 6:05 approximately, officers requested the Shreveport Fire Department to stage at a nearby location close to Linwood. 6:07 a.m., a second call was received regarding a shooting in the 500 block of Harrison Street. The caller stated that her boyfriend had shot her, taken her 3 children, and fled the scene. 6:08 a.m., the victim identified the suspect as Shamar Elkins. At 6:10, dispatch linked the Harrison Street shooting with the shooting on West 79th Street and that they all were related. At 6:15, officers received information that the suspect had carjacked a red Kia Sportage at West 79th, closest to Linwood. At 6:17 a.m., our traffic units out on random patrol encountered or observed that particular vehicle traveling southbound on Interstate 49.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that he carjacked someone and took their car along with 3 children in said vehicle, shot his girlfriend, and then fled? That, to me, I don't know if he was mentally ill or not, because my thing is this. Stay with me for a second. If I am able to shoot 8 of my children and then 2 adults, I would then turn the firearm on myself if I'm mentally ill. But to try to flee means what? That I am trying to stay alive. I am trying to get away. I want to live, which means that I may not be as mentally ill as people want me to be, because we want him to be mentally ill. Trust me, I do. Because to shoot 8 of your children, something is wrong with you. And honestly, we will never know because he is actually deceased. Police officers took him out. And it's not like he was trying to take himself out. It's not like he was trying to delete himself by cop. No, I don't think he was. I honestly think this man was trying to get away with this crime of deleting his children, his wife, his girlfriend, and then get away with it. Not get away with it, but get away, because there's no way you could get away with such a heinous crime.
The officers advised at 6:18 that they were crossing the Red River Bridge into Bossier City. At 6:20, officers received information that the children taken from the Harrison Street residence may be inside of the fleeing vehicle. 6:23 a.m., officers advised that they were exiting near Swan Lake area. 6:25 a.m. approximately, officers located the injured victims from the Harrison Street shooting. 6:29 a.m., officers made contact with the suspect through an exchange of gunfire. At 6:30 a.m., officers confirmed contact with the suspect in the 400 block of Brompton Lane. 6:40 a.m., officers advised that the suspect vehicle was empty and no children were located inside. 6:43 a.m., officers cleared the residence of West 79th Street where multiple deceased victims were located. 7:03 a.m., Shamar Elkins was pronounced deceased at the scene on Brompton Lane. 7:14 a.m., the Shreveport Police Department contacted the Louisiana State Police Investigative Division, and they began their deployment to the Bossier City address to begin to investigate the officer-involved shooting.
All I can tell you today is my heart is saddened. It has brought me to my knees, and of course that's a great place to be, because then we can communicate with God.
Apparently the shooter started at one place and shot someone who he had a relationship with or was in a relationship with. And then he went to the other location where there actually, I think, were 9 children there. One of the children has survived, but 8 of them were shot and killed by the same person. He then bolted from the house, hijacked a car, and took off. The police gave chase, and they ended up in an exchange of gunfire, at which time the assailant is deceased.
Over 30% of our crimes and 30% of our murders in the city of Shreveport are domestic in relation. Now that number has gone up. But we've more than doubled our homicides in the city of Shreveport because of one act of domestic violence. We as a community, black, white, Republican, Democrat, need to stand together and fight for what is right. This is nothing but pure evil. We can have 100 new police cars. We can have a brand new, beautiful, multi-million-dollar police substation right up the road. But until we stop this violence, the cycle of violence, like I've said over and over again, we're going to still be standing here, and it's only going to get worse.
Honestly, I never see that happening. It's never going to happen. Why? Because human beings are human beings and we have free will. This man had the free will to either love his family, love his children, and that was a lot of children, or take them out. And he chose the latter. So it all comes to free will, choice. The choices that we make, the decisions we make. And he decided to do a such a heinous act of taking out his own children. And it actually sounds like he had a girlfriend and that he was living with, and he went to the home of his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend who he had all 9 kids with, because they say it was 9 children. He shot all 9 children. 8 of them passed away. 1 of them survived. So that to me is what it sounds like. And again, he had the free will to he had the free will to turn that gun on himself before he did any of this and take himself out. So what in his wrong mind made him think that going to shoot all of his own children, his own kids, was the right thing to do? Free will. He had a choice. So this is the reason why I never see any of this not ever happening again. It's just impossible.
Because the truth is this: domestic violence is not a private issue. It's not a family issue. It is a community issue. And when we fail to respond in a coordinated, consistent, and compassionate way, people die. This tragedy is a painful reminder that we cannot afford to work in silos. We cannot afford to wait until the next crisis. We cannot afford to treat domestic violence as an afterthought. We must ensure that every victim, every mother, every father, every child has access to safety, support, and intervention before the violence escalates.
And of course, y'all know that I'm a realist. And realistically speaking, everything he just said is great. Everything he just said is great on paper. In reality, it's not so great. Because human beings have the free will to do whatever they want to do. So if you want to take out all of your kids, 9 kids, you can go ahead and do that. Carjack someone, get into their car, speed off, get chased by the police, have a shootout with them. You can do that too. Nothing is stopping you. See, that's the problem. Nothing is stopping you. No matter what type of programs we set up for kids, for the community, for adults, for people dealing with mental illness, we all still have that one thing: free will to do as we please. So tomorrow morning, someone might wake up, decide to load up a gun, walk into their nearest grocery store, walk into their nearest school, walk into their nearest movie theater, and just start taking people out. How can we stop them? Free will. Now, the police will come after the fact, after the shootings, because police don't prevent incidents like this from happening. They react afterwards. So how can you prevent something like this from happening? You can't, ladies and gentlemen. You never can. We never will be able to stop anything like this from happening, because once again, we all have free will. And it doesn't even matter if you take away everyone's guns, because again, guns don't kill people. People kill people. People will always find a way to commit such heinous crimes, such as deleting 8 of their kids, shooting 9 of them. It's a sad story. Our prayers go out to the family. But I just wanted a timeline of how everything happened, and I think we can paint a clear picture of why it also happened. I will also continue to bring you more of this story as things unfold. Y'all be safe out there. Until next time. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content.